Hello everyone, welcome to Platform on the Go. Here is Sogol again, the amateur Sogol. Tonight I'm having a beautiful conversation with a dear friend and a colleague of several years, Bruce Platt from Jalan Jalan. For those of you in Miami and in the interior design industry, I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about because he had one of the most beautiful showrooms in the design district for many years. So I'm just waiting for Bruce to join and have a nice conversation with my friend who is now actually my neighbor here in South of Fifth. I'm super excited to have Bruce on board tonight. Let's see, Bruce, where are you? Help me here. Okay, here he is. Hold on, let me just join. Hold on, let me just add Bruce right here. Bear with me, guys. Why isn't this working again? Hey!
You got me. You got me.
Why I got you.
Good to see you,
How are
Sogol.
you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for taking this invitation and being
Uh,
here on my platform on the go IG Live. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you tonight.
Me too. It's a pleasure and an honor to be invited to your platform and to share some of our stories together.
I know we go way back, right?
We
So
do. We do.
first of all, I forgot to actually let Darren know that we are doing this tonight. I had so much going on,
It's
but
okay. He doesn't answer anyway. I've tried reaching out to him recently.
sometimes he does. You know, it's he goes by his own schedule. But
He's in a
um,
different headspace right now.
I know exactly. But I do want to thank Darian for this connection, this beautiful connection we've had for many years.
That's right.
Even like when I was back in DC, living in DC, I came to Miami, and back then, I have to give shit to you about that forever, actually, because I came to interview you. Darren introduced me to you. I was looking for a job here in Miami, believe it or not. I wanted to be the creative designer for Jalan Jalan. I came and interviewed with you, and my Spanish was just not enough for you. So you declined the whole thing. But it's all good because now you're one of my butterflies here at Platform. So everything happens for a good reason and at the right time. You're one of my butterflies here at Platform. So everything happens for a good reason. Sorry, we have a little.
Sorry, he's not. I thought he's not on the screen, but
No, he's on the screen.
he is there.
We're good. You want to be on the screen too? Come say hi,
Hey,
actually.
how are you, Bruce? How are you? Dude, you're not showing on my video. I don't think he is there. See, he's not.
Request to be in your live.
Yeah, he got cut off.
Wait. Bruce, are you back?
I'm back now. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened with Iman. Thank God we have Iman here.
So, say great things. Go back 20
So-
seconds. Say the same thing.
Okay. Okay. What were you saying? We just wanted to give a shout out to Darren for introducing us. Darren held my first amazing friend here in Miami who really created the first new connections for me in Miami many moons ago. And you were one of the first ones, actually. You were across the street from him in the design district. And I had the pleasure of meeting you. I still remember that day. And I will always give you shit for that, for not hiring me.
Listen, I think I don't know if it was the Spanish or maybe it
It
was
was in
just
Spanish.
wrong timing. I don't know, but look here we are 22 years later, and
There
we've
you
known
go.
each other for I don't even know how many years, 22 years,
I
and
think so. I don't know. Time is flying by too
or at
fast.
least 15, at least 15 years.
For
But I
sure.
do remember meeting you, and you know, it was an honor to meet you then, and timing led us to here. So
Absolutely. Now you're my butterfly here at Platform, and you're not only a butterfly, you're actually my neighbor. So
that's right. That's right. We're right around the corner, and it's been super enjoyable to share your platform space,
thank
um,
you.
and to be a part of your experience and creating a lot of experiences for a lot of people. I must
Yes.
say.
Well,
Um,
and I have to thank my amazing brother for making all of this happen, because obviously IG Live and social media is really the last thing that you and I want to be a part of. But he's definitely pushing my buttons about this whole
Is it that
thing.
obvious? Is it that
It's
obvious?
no, you're doing amazing, actually. It's obvious on my end. Actually, you know what? I
I
have
have.
my little champagne here because I need this in order to do
Cheers,
this.
cheers.
Cheers
I
to
wish I had
you.
a glass that I could hold up
Well,
with you, but I have my
um,
virtual glass here in my space,
yeah.
and
Well, wishing
um,
everyone a happy holiday season, a peaceful one, a joyful one, and a creative one. And that's the industry we're both in. We have been in for many, many years. So tell me about your story. What's the Bruce story? How did you end up with Jalan Jalan and the new path?
what is the Bruce story? I haven't talked about my story in so long
This is your
that
time.
you're taking me way back.
Go for
Um,
it.
I was living in New York at the time. I had lived in Miami for a while, and then I moved back to New York. I was working for Ralph Lauren at the time, and I was doing, some work at Ralph Lauren and going to school at FIT at the same time. And was studying fashion. I had studied art previous to that in San Francisco, and I knew I wanted to be in a creative industry. I knew I loved people, and I loved socializing and meeting people from all walks of life. That's always been a natural thing for me. I'm not a big crowd person, as you just pointed out. I do great one-on-one. I'm
I
more of
was
a
going to say,
one-on-one
yes.
because I like to get to know people.
In
And
person, not really one on one. I guess we like in person, just
yeah,
not the
in person, that's what I mean.
yeah.
I like to meet people on a not on a superficial level, but more on a deeper level, I guess. I like to get to know the person behind the person, not just something that it's like, shaking hands and you never even speak one word of anything other than what's on the surface. That's
Right.
kind of who I am as a person. I think uh, maybe that's my superpower too, because I have great connections with people. People some have always trusted me and have opened up to me whenever given the opportunity to discuss anything about life, not just work, but just even personal experiences, spiritual experiences,
Right.
you name it. And that was kind of my path. I got into fashion. I had come from an art background. I had an opportunity to take a job with Giorgio Armani doing their windows, or leap of faith, work in Europe and take a job with a company called Jet Set Blue System. They had
Beautiful.
several brands called The Wave as well. And they wanted an American guy. They liked me because I had worked at Ralph Lauren in the double RL department, which was more Ralph's vintage collection, which had this old Americana style. And I had a natural, vibe for that. And they wanted to bring that kind of American feel to Switzerland for this company that they were opening that did denim. And
So you lived in Switzerland?
I lived in St. Moritz for a couple of years, and I traveled with the company throughout Switzerland to different parts. I've been to Basel, I've been to Lucerne, Geneva, pretty much all over. The company had several stores, and I would go and decorate their stores and kind of give the vibe that they were looking for.
Beautiful.
It was quite an amazing experience. I come from Utah, but I could never really ski.
I was just going to ask you. So were you skiing those beautiful
I
slopes?
listen. I was a terrible skier. I came from a large family, 12 kids. I was one of the oldest, and my parents didn't have a lot of money. And for me to go skiing was a luxury. Back then, I would be skiing in my denims. How appropriate. Not very easy to ski in denim jeans when you fall down and get wet, and then you get
Definitely
cold.
sexy though, right?
Yeah, I guess if you look back now, but back then it wasn't very fun, and I got pushed down the mountain to force learn skiing, and I learned to hate it. But when I got to Switzerland, one of the companies that was part of the group was a company called The Wave, and they sponsored snowboarders in the winter and windsurfers in the summer,
Wow.
and so I got of all an Argentine instructor. I got on a board, and in 1 hour, I was snowboarding. And I'm like, this is my sport. Forget skiing. This is my sport. And I pretty much
You
skied.
were
I
just
mean,
flying.
snowboarded for 22 plus years And then when I had kids later on in life, I switched to skiing, and I literally took how you put your skis on, how you make a turn, how you stand, and I love
Pizza,
skiing.
right? Did you learn the
Yeah,
pizza too?
yeah, exactly. And so, I eventually learned how to ski, and I love it now. So then Switzerland was a great opportunity. I met some incredible lifelong friends. Uh, I figured I would continue in fashion. I ended up getting a job with Kimse in Germany. I was like, wow, that's a great experience. Maybe I should do that too. I was like, I'll never get back to the US. Till I got a random call from a friend of mine, a Belgian guy who I had met when I lived in Miami. And he was a photographer. Um, and he basically, I had met him at Armani. I opened the first Armani exchange in South Beach.
Wow.
Um, it was
And
an, it
where
was
is
an old
this?
it was an old Cuban supermarket. Back then, the malls were running around town. It was one of
Right.
those crazy Miami Beach scenes that has changed tremendously from the original days. And it was a lot of fun. I
Was
met
that the
this
one on 8th and Washington?
exactly.
Wow.
It was an old Cuban supermarket. They turned it into one of the very first clothing stores, national brands that was in Miami because there wasn't really anything like that.
And
Now
I,
it's
I
a
had a property right up the street
oh
many
wow.
years later. Yes. So
Yeah,
that
that
was
now it's a
Armani.
mecca. Yeah, I think I was at the park. I think it was called the park. I was just right up the
Wow.
street. Spent a lot of time in the ocean, and was working at the store. I met Quito Bianco. A big shout out to Quito Bianco.
Wow.
We'll put his website, his webpage. He has beautiful. Today he's doing art, and he's very successful. But he had talked to me. He photographed me. I did a little bit of modeling back then because that's what everybody did in South Beach. Everybody thought they were a model.
Right. I'm sure you look like one.
He liked my look, and so we did a few photos together. I ended up getting into a modeling agency. It was short lived, but it was fun, and I was young, and it was exciting.
Cool.
Um, and while I was in Switzerland, he had talked to me about how he was going to open a furniture store. He couldn't find furniture in Miami. He was used to the European experience where you had great design and, great, variety. And in Miami, there was just nothing. He wanted to furnish his apartment. It's amazing how a creative idea can
Bruce
be
came to
something
rescue.
so incredible. And he basically launched my career in furniture.
Wow.
He convinced me to move back from Switzerland and not move to Germany. And when I saw what he was doing, funny enough, he contracted me because I do speak Spanish.
Okay, I'm practicing.
He was getting a lot of Latins, Brazilians. I speak a little Portuguese as well. And, he couldn't understand how the business was working here. He was from Belgium, and he was a little intimidated, I guess, by how he had a beautiful space, but um, so when I saw what he was doing, he was importing incredibly beautiful architectural pieces from India. He had, these beautiful doors, kind of like one that's now at the platform.
I know. I was
You
just gonna
know,
say exactly.
they're
Yeah.
they're they're
Pakistan.
either Indian or Pakistani.
Mhm.
And when I saw this, I was like, this is furniture. This is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I would be honored to work here and to help you and to collaborate with, clients and build a base and get to know people. It actually helped me polish up my Spanish because most of my clients were Latin.
Exactly.
And believe it or not, when I came to Miami, my Spanish sucked. It was terrible. I grew up
Your
very
French is
American.
pretty good too now.
Now my French is very good as well. Yes. Um, I'd like to get some of my Portuguese back because I kind of lost that, just lack of practice.
I may
But
share something with you after this.
okay.
There may be
Uh,
something that we can work on
okay, sounds good.
in
So,
Portugal. Yeah.
oh, in Portugal. Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Portugal. I've never.
My roots will someday take me back to Europe. I can feel that somehow.
If you need an excuse, take it. That's what I can say.
Right.
So, fast track. The business changed hands. He ended up closing the business. I saw an opportunity. I got a couple of business partners, a financial partner, a designer partner. They were older. They were a little more equipped to help a young buck like myself to open my
Sure.
first furniture store.
Amazing. Yeah. And I
And
fell in love with your furniture store. I mean, the day Darren walked me over literally to your store, and I was just in heaven because my background is also very multicultural, and I
yes,
just love the entire vibe. Like, your space really took me, and I loved what you had done in the design district for many
thank you,
years, which was
thank you.
my home. Back then I was obviously living in DC, running my interior design studio, but I loved bringing down clients, and we have purchased a lot from your store, like
Yes, you
very,
have.
very unique
Yes,
pieces.
yes, you have.
And now I'm lucky to have several of them here at Platform
Yeah,
for people to come and see. And now you closed the Design District store, and
I did. I
then
got
you
tired. I
opened
got
up.
tired of paying $68,000 a month for rent. I guess
Wow,
you could
that's
say. But I did
that's
spend
beautiful.
half my life in that building. Literally
I know.
half my life.
Yeah, yeah. Well, design district is definitely not the same thing anymore for me either. I feel like, what we had, what Craig Robbins had done back in the days, I loved it. And it's a whole new transformation. I mean, nothing is permanent. So what he's doing now, it works with what's happening with Miami nowadays. But I really miss those days, flying down from DC with clients, shopping the entire day or week with them, going from one showroom to the other. I'm so happy that I got to see the design district
Right.
from what it was before. And now it's just different. I just like to go window shopping mostly,
Yeah, yeah,
and
no,
at
for
those
sure.
fashion boutiques, and then enjoying the restaurants and the whole vibe. But you opened up another beautiful gallery showroom in California. So tell us
Yeah,
more about
yeah.
that and
So
your,
we
yeah.
eventually I bought out two of my partners and I went solo. I got overzealous, I guess, and fell in love with the idea of doing something in California in Orange County. And I opened a 7,200 square foot gallery in
Beautiful.
Laguna Beach,
Yeah.
in the design center there. And it's been such a beautiful experience being there with the ocean and the mountains and the people are very different than Miami. And there's a lot of nature. The weather's incredible, and funny enough, they have opposite seasons to Miami. So
Well, we have a season now. I'm wearing my leather
yeah,
jacket tonight.
yeah, and I'm sure you're wearing some tall boots too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I like
happy
throwing on a.
holiday season for us.
That's right. I'm wearing my holiday colors, green and red.
I know.
You know, it's an interesting dynamic to go from East Coast to West Coast. I am from the West Coast, so I felt the people and the vibe kind of felt like home to me. I was able to explore my Latin roots living in Miami, and it's been a fun dynamic going back and forth, not without its challenges for sure,
Yes.
but
But tell
to
me about I loved the meaning of Jalan Jalan and your new path right now. So tell us more about that,
yes.
and the
So
opening of your new place here in Miami.
that's right. So Jalan Jalan, it means road or path.
Hmm.
And the meaning for me was just kind of like I'm taking my own path. I'm the road less traveled. You take your path. You don't follow, you create, right? You
Exactly.
express. And I
Well, that's
think
for
that
all the creative people. I feel like, we
yes,
just create the path, and then of course we have followers, or however you want to name it. But I love creating the path, which is, that's the most creative part.
absolutely. I guess for
Yeah.
me, it was a form of expression.
Hmm.
I've always wanted to find different ways of expressing myself. As I got older, I've learned that I want to express myself differently, and I I'm constantly evolving as a person.
Hmm.
California's been beautiful. It's been a different expression. I still love Miami. This is my home. My kids are here,
Yes.
um, and my expression as a father has been a unique experience.
Hmm.
My expression meeting different cultures and putting different ideas of creativity together. And much like the platform, which I'll take it back to you, you've done something so wonderful because you're bringing expressive people together where you get to meet every time you have an experience at the platform. You have different expressors, different people that have different expressions. And I've met so many incredible people at your platform.
Thank you.
And
And I want to thank you again here now where everyone can hear us, see us. So we started the Barefoot in the Garden series. And I wanted it to be a monthly event, but then I realized, okay, I'm a full-time interior designer. At the same time, I'm trying to run a gallery, a platform for creatives, for people to network, collaborate, and everything. And I just realized like I cannot do this on a monthly basis until we actually have all the butterflies lined up.
that's
And
right.
if I have the right team, then we will be able to do that. But on
Yeah.
my own, it was very difficult to do it. But you are definitely one of my very first butterflies, you and a few others who joined forces for my first, launch of the Barefoot in the Garden event, which is really just a chill evening together with creatives in our little garden. It is a tiny garden, but it's very
But
magical. And
that's what's nice about it. It flows, you know.
exactly, it flows. And you were so generous with your donations of beautiful products, which I still have a few. We did a silent auction, which proceeds went to a charity, which is a part of what I do. And I thank you for that. And now we are showcasing some of your beautiful Jalan Jalan pieces and for people to come and see here, buy them, and then come to your new space in Miami.
You know, obviously it would be nice to sell a few pieces, but for me, it was more of an expression of how can I enhance this beautiful experience for
And you
Sogol
sure did. Thank
and for
you.
the collective, because the experience of being there and meeting such great people and then being surrounded by beautiful pieces that that have history and have stories behind them, it gets people talking, right? It gets people
Yes.
expressing, and to me that's the key of the Barefoot Collective, is to have people open up and share their creative expression and their creative ideas, where you get people that like-minded creatives that can create something together as we have. and
Exactly.
uh, and I think you've opened the door, literally opened the door for that.
Yes, I did. And hopefully,
It's
we open more doors for a lot of other people. We are located in one of the most exclusive and beautiful neighborhoods south of Fifth in Miami Beach, and which I was always adamant about, opening up something in this neighborhood for over 15 years. And now this whole place has transformed into a really, really nice neighborhood. And I'm happy to have you as my neighbor. And hopefully we can
Yeah.
grow this community of creatives. And so my wish is one day to also have an art basel in South of Fifth. That's another wish that
if
I have, and
if you could
it has to
envision it
come through collaboration.
if you can envision it, it'll happen, Sobel, because anything you put your mind to, you make happen.
I can see it all the way.
Yeah, you have vision, you have creative expression. You know,
Yeah.
funny enough, when I first moved to Miami, I lived on Meridian and 11th.
Wow.
So it's great to be back on the beach and back in my old neighborhood. I feel right at home.
Yeah, and Meridian is such a special street, actually, to me and my family, because my dad lived, he was born on a street like Meridian in Tehran many moons ago. He passed last year, but his wish was always for us to live on Meridian. And interestingly enough, he also passed on this street. So, it was a very nostalgic moment, but it is a very special street. It's so that street really means a lot to me. So hopefully we can do a lot of new connections here. Um, his vision was always to collaborate and to create a community. So I think I learned it from the best.
You're you're you're
And
you're,
he
you're cut,
was,
cut from the same cloth.
yeah, he was quite a Renaissance man, and I really appreciate him. And of course, my hardworking mom and passionate mom, who is also helping with this whole platform concept along with my brother. And so I'm very happy to have people like you, creatives like you, and hopefully we can grow this community to the next level.
Yeah.
And I,
Let's not forget Parsa and your beautiful daughter. I had
I
such an incredible night with you guys, just four people, but we made such a great, energetic connection with the four of you, myself and three of you, Parsa being one of them,
very
and
impromptu too.
and Iman, very impromptu, and what a conversation we had. You guys inspired me and
Oh,
opened up the floodgates for me. I can't even believe that some of the things I was saying and speaking were coming out of my mouth. I felt like I was definitely inspired in your company. It was really quite nice.
well, I had the same feeling, and thank you for being. Actually, this whole IG live came from that night too,
You're
because
kidding.
you were there, and I said, Bruce, how about we just jump on an IG live? And you were
True. That's
like, what does
true. I
that mean?
forgot about that. You're right, because the conversation was flowing so nicely.
It was just so organic,
It
and
was so
then
organic and just a nice flow and easy, beautiful expressions from everybody there. And I really,
yeah.
truly enjoyed it. This has been fun because I honestly never taken the opportunity to do something like this. I was always a little shy to do it, but I guess age gives you different experiences, right?
Yeah, and well, you and I we're from a different generation, but I think Iman is doing such a great job with what he's doing and
You're
pushing
you're
me,
you're
and
like my sister. Are you kidding me? We're the same in age, I believe.
I know,
I won't
I
say what that is. Don't worry.
no, yeah, I mean
44, right?
27.
Oh shit.
I'm stuck there. I'm not gonna move away from 27.
Okay, okay, okay.
The problem is my kids have outgrown that age, so I really it's
You
hard.
can't really hide it, and there's something beautiful about going through
Yeah.
the age of wisdoms, you know?
Every single line I have here, it's a story, and I appreciate it, and I'm so grateful for it. And having people like you around me, that's really it's the best blessing I can have in this
Yeah,
life.
I think we need to support each other. Creative people do go through creative blocks, I think, at times because we're always expressing. It's hard to keep the creative juices flowing, and sometimes we need new information. We need new challenges,
Yeah.
and I believe that your platform gives that opportunity for people to re-envision themselves and see how they can collaborate in a different way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We just came out from a beautiful 5-day Art Basel experience, so I'm still trying to recover, honestly, because there was a lot. So this year was the first year I didn't have my own event here or an exhibit. It was by appointment, or it was a private viewing for Parcel's art and Daniel Fiorda's art, which was great. But I was happy to be able to actually see Art Basel again, because the past few years, ever since we opened up in 2018 with Dorsa, I haven't really had a chance to go to different events and exhibits, except for just a few. Like Art Basel and Design Miami were my must see. But this year I got to see a little bit more and got to meet some amazing new creative people, and so we're definitely recharged for the next year.
Well, you're brave to get out there. I mean, I was part of the very first Art Basel. I forget how many years ago. Let's see, my daughter's 16.
16
It's
years ago.
and she was born on December 6th. So
Amazing.
yes, I think it was 16 years ago, or maybe 1 or 2 years before that. And I remember, I think I told you the story.
Yes.
I did the first Art Basel with Tucker Robbins. A shout out to Tucker Robbins, who's an
Yes.
incredible creative like ourselves.
Yes.
And
Where is he
also,
now? Is he in New York?
he's in New York. I think he's retiring. He had a few health issues. He's been struggling, but he was one of those people, much like yourself, and always gave back to the people. He was heavy into charity. When I remember when there was an earthquake in Puerto Rico, he flew down. A lot of the churches collapsed,
Wow.
And so he went down to preserve as much of those churches as he could, and also to salvage the wood when they weren't able to be, uh, you know, saved. And the money went back to the people to help them rebuild.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
it takes a courageous spirit to do something like that, and a very
Yeah.
selfless person, you know.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with him. I saw him at a trade show, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, or maybe in New York, many years ago. And it was such a pleasure to meet him and to see his beautiful, unique products that he made from natural wood. And it was really nice.
I
But
would tell you, he
yeah,
definitely
maybe
he
we should
inspired me.
invite him to Miami. Maybe he'll come and, he'll be, I would love to see him again.
He's a natural born speaker. He, unlike me and maybe you, like don't really. He loves the camera. Like that's his big thing. He loves being in front of the camera, and he's a Sag. He's a Sagittarius. He loves to be, out there.
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, even though we hate the camera, I think we had an amazing conversation. We're probably going over time. I can't even see because I have this
We're
light
at
in front
30.
of
We're
me.
at 30 minutes right now.
Oh, fantastic. See, we're even very punctual.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you, Bruce. I want to cheer to you, to our
Cheers.
platform, to our creative community,
Thank
and
you.
I look forward to growing this whole community, platform community in South of Fifth to the next level. And I can already see Art Basel South of Fifth. At one point, I actually went to the Miami Beach Chamber holiday toy drive event a couple nights
Yes.
ago here at Fogo de Chao, and I got to meet the new president of
Oh,
the chamber and also another gentleman who is on board. He's the executive director for the Washington Avenue transformation. So, and he is actually creating a beautiful 8,000 square foot art and cultural center on Washington Avenue
wow.
between 6th and 7th Street.
Okay.
So you and I, we need to talk.
We
And I
we
told
definitely need to
him,
talk.
I would love to be, on this project with him. And so we're supposed to meet here. I make sure that you're here when we have the meeting here at Platform.
You see, Sogol, that's your superpower. You connect people. You connect the dots. But
Well,
the
the
best
dots are
part,
coming to me, and I just, connect them. That's it.
and the best part's yet to come, from what I can tell.
Yes, yes. Well, cheers to you. Happy
Here,
holidays to
happy
everyone
holidays. I hope we see
who's
each other
watching
before then.
us
And
and supporting
thank
us.
you so much for having me, Solo. It's been a
Of
pleasure.
course. Have a great night, and
Thank
we'll
you.
talk soon. Ciao.
Very good. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.